Okay, in this assignment, you're going to decide on an approximate layout for your poster, and you're going to decide on your color palette. How much of one color as opposed to another? Are you going to simplify the color palette? What is your accent color going to be, and what function will it serve? So I'm fortunate enough, like in Chilton Zoo, has already done a little bit of the hard work, and they've chosen three colors that work really well together. However, they work well for a logo. For a poster, we have to add a little bit of variation, because after all, if we just use the blue, a little bit of green, and a little bit of orange, it would read very flat. It wouldn't have a lot of space, and they're rather dark colors, so they work well for a logo. However, I've sampled all those colors out, and I'm just going to get rid of them right now just so we're not looking at the whole thing. My layout, I've chosen to use 2/3 on the top and 1/3 on the bottom. So my hierarchy is going to be, I'll have one large image, and I think I'm going to use that ZOO picture, the iconic large letters, and I'll pull that one up here. There it is. Pull it to the top so you guys can see it. And I think I'm going to lay that one out somewhere in the middle. And I'll probably erase out some of the green in the background and just use the letters as standalone. How I'm going to do that will be to use the magic wand tool and deselect the areas that I don't want and delete. Of course, you have to rasterize. Make sure you always rasterize your image first. And then you can start to get rid of some of those areas. So the ZOO will live entirely on its own, and it's going to read as a pretty strong element. It will be the very first thing that you see. You see this is going to start to come together really nice. I'm going to turn that off right now, because all you have to do in this assignment is decide on the layout and the color. So 2/3 is my dominant image, and I'm thinking top-down processing. People are going to see ZOO, and underneath that will say Zoobilee. There'll be details down here about where the event is, and my accent color is the thing that I'm using strategically to divide the image from the font. I think that's going to work pretty well. So how I did this is I sampled out the colors. The main colors that the logo had were this blue, this salmon, and this green. The next thing I did was I decided on using a framed border at the top, and I went in, so this was the blue color that I had originally for that background layer. I double clicked on it, and I just selected a lighter value of that same exact color. I'm going to cancel that out so you can see that I have two values. I did the same thing for these three layers at the bottom. My original color was this green. Let me zoom in to show you. These are the three original colors here. I wanted three values because I wanted three regions in order to divide up the information and have these bands as areas that will contain the information. I think that will work pretty well. So again, I chose the color in the color picker, and then when I made a new rectangle for that area, I'll just do one now for you. I went in, I drew that next rectangle, and since it was already the same color, I just moved my color picker over and down a little bit to select a slightly darker value. I then repeated that again for the color at the bottom. So now I have three versions of the same color. They're related, it just adds a little bit more space, it's a little more dynamic. Once I add in my image, my text, and everything for the next assignment, which is going to be the draft copy, I'll have a good idea how the whole thing's working together. You're going to submit that copy later. For now, you're just submitting something that looks just like this. It's a basic layout with your color palette.